I call the member for Prospect.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, the electorate of Prospect is diverse, vibrant and a clear example of Australia's successful multicultural tapestry. Prospect is home to a number of ethnically diverse communities, including a very large Armenian Australian community, many of whom are descendants of the first genocide of the 20th century, the Armenian, Assyrian and Greek Pontian genocide. Throughout my time in Parliament, it has been my honour to stand in solidarity with my local Armenian Australian community and be their voice. In fact, today, Mr Speaker, I note that September 21st is the Armenian Independence Day, their 31st year of independence, and I congratulate every Armenian in Australia and overseas on this important day. In November 2020, Mr Speaker, I, along with myself and my parliamentary colleagues, championed a bipartisan motion that saw the New South Wales Legislative Assembly recognise the independence of the Republic of Artsakh in defence of the Indigenous Armenian population's right to self-determination, democracy and freedom. Mr Speaker, in 2018, I had the honour and privilege to visit the Republic of Artsakh, which only a couple of weeks ago, on the 2nd of September 2022, celebrated 31 years since it gained its independence. Sadly, however, the Artsakh that was recognised by the Parliament of New South Wales, the Artsakh that I was privileged to visit, is being ethnically cleansed and its nationhood and territory erased, following its occupation by Azerbaijan after the 2020 Artsakh War. Today, this beautiful region, once marked with ancient Christian cross stones, historical churches and beautiful landscapes dating back centuries, is being systematically destroyed by the authoritarian petro-dictatorship of Azerbaijan, who wastes little time in removing any traces of the indigenous Armenians who have inhabited these lands for centuries. The European Parliament has already proclaimed that the actions taken by the dictator, President Aliyev, are the actions of historical revisionism. That is, the aim of the Azerbaijani government is to rewrite and fabricate the history of the region and strip it of its ancient Armenian identity. Yet Azerbaijan has not stopped its cultural genocide, as the war against Armenia continues. Currently, hundreds of Armenian civilians and military personnel remain captive in prisons across Azerbaijan, enduring inhumane treatment and used as political bargaining chips. Furthermore, Azerbaijan's attack against the Republic of Artsakh in July and August 2022 resulted in the ethnic cleansing of thousands of Armenians from their ancestral homelands. Even parts of the Republic of Armenia itself are now under attack and illegal occupation by Azerbaijan, and only recently, in the first weeks of September this year, more Armenian soldiers and civilians were killed by Azeri aggression. In the first large-scale escalation since the 2020 war, hostilities erupted along multiple parts of the border and included heavy Azeri shelling and drone strikes against civilian settlements and key towns inside Armenian territory. The ceasefire that was agreed on the second day of fighting remains fragile and could easily collapse into renewed clashes with Azeri forces potentially taking even more territory inside Armenia. As of today, 207 soldiers have been killed, 3 civilians, and some 7,600 men, women and children displaced. I was deeply saddened when I was made aware of a recent Australian diplomatic mission visiting the city of Sochi, which is presently under Azeri military occupation. In 2018, prior to the occupation, I, along with other parliamentarians, were warned that our visit to this city would lead to my name being placed on a blacklist by the Azerbaijani government. This blacklisting by a fascist petro-dictatorship is a badge of honour I wear with pride. In August, the occupation of Sochi, which historically has never been considered a part of Azerbaijan, even during the Soviet era, was visited by the Australian Defence Attaché as part of an Azeri-supported propaganda tour of the occupied territory. More disturbingly, these actions were celebrated and applauded by Australia's ambassador to Turkey. Both of these diplomatic officials should be recalled and disciplined. This visit has made me question why Australian representatives are supporting a dictatorship like Azerbaijan, who jails hundreds of your journalists, family members are appointed to key positions of power, official election results are announced before citizens have voted, and international human rights norms are violated on a daily basis. Furthermore, why are Australian diplomats applauded for visiting territory that was forcibly taken through the use of cluster and white phosphorus munitions, indiscriminate attacks against civilian populations, and attacks on Armenian churches, hospitals, civilian homes and schools? I implore the Australian government to act. I implore our Foreign Minister Penny Wong to join other world leaders and act in defence of the human rights and security of the people of Nagorno-Karabakh, because if we don't, the people of Artsakh will continue to pay a terrible price for our silence.